guys and gals, Never here from Drake Week Gaming. To sub you on Twitter, the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Beasts of the Thorns. So y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. Hess, the pain you just experienced was twice as much as a human would experience during childbirth, and a human could die from shock from that kind of pain. Though you are able to endure this pain, it is not a good sign that you are so oblivious to your feelings. This is not the time for that. Just as well. After all, there are priorities. Hess, listen up. Rangers are not hunters. We need abilities for tracking as well as searching, not hunting. You have to utilize your racial abilities. My racial abilities? Yes. Use your imagination. I don't have a head. Yeah, and then what? I have a 360-degree view. Good. What else? I don't have to breathe. I suddenly remembered this, that I can lurk in any body of water, even mud. Ostrom had said that spiny birds like to perch by the water's edge in the middle of the day, so I could ambush the spiny birds with that. Lucas nodded in concern. I can only give it a try like this. I'm sorry I couldn't help. Lucas opened the door to the OR and told Amor to come in and take care of me. The surgery didn't work, and I'll need to readjust the skull for a few days. Hess was only briefly anesthetized by the magical ginseng, so he'll be able to move around in about 15 minutes. I'll leave him to you. I have to go. Amor approached me with a complicated expression, dropping his ears a little sadly and reluctantly. He gently took my hand in his, and my trembling symptoms brought on by the excruciating pain caused my fingers to collide with his palm over and over again, so he tightened his grip, hoping to relieve my symptoms. After a few minutes of respite, the analgesic effect of the magical ginseng eggplant became apparent, and my pain subsided considerably, except that I was still sweating coldly. He felt my pulse calm in his hand before he spoke to me. Nothing can separate you from Chris, right? I told you it wasn't like that. You don't know what it's like to have no head. Whenever I take off my helmet, you all act so uncomfortable that I can't help but wonder who you see me as, my body or the helmet. I can understand that our instinct is to recognize other individuals by their faces, so you intuitively think that there is a face under my helmet so that you can treat me normally. The truth is that I have no head. Under the helmet there is nothingness, and that is not my face that faces you, but a false mask of inorganic matter. The Hess you know no longer exists. I've become a symbol, an image of the helmet, a shadow of the past. I'm just pretending that the past is still going on, and you're pretending that everything is okay, pretending that the time when the three of us were not separated never stopped. But no matter how you change, my feelings for you won't change. Don't promise to stay the same forever, because I've changed and so have you. Amor, I really don't know who I am. I used to be a human named Hess, but now that I've lost my head, I'm not even a human anymore. Who knows what's next? But I can't accept this in-between version of myself right now. A me who wasn't anyone, an invisible me. Before you all gradually forget what my past smile looked like, I must find a new one, rather than remain in the undecided void under this helmet. Tears flowed down Amor's face. I thought that by accompanying you out of human society, I was leaving the shackles and able to get you rescued. Yet all we did was move from one cell to another. Oh, this peach tea is so good. Okay. No one can save another human being. All we can do is save ourselves. But you saved me! I don't remember. So many things have been stripped from me. My family, my identity, even looking at your demonic types makes me wonder if my past memories are reliable. Memories of human types, you guys weren't nearly as hairy as you are now. The human Hess has vanished, disappeared. Like dust in the corner of yesteryears, dissipating into nothingness. All we can do is move forward. Amor wanted to say something, but his tears didn't stop. I'm sorry for letting you down, but I really wanted to save you. Don't beat yourself up, Amor. This is a world without superheroes. There's no need to force yourself to play the hero. Besides, heroes feel pain too. Soon after the anesthesia wore off, I stretched my slightly numb fingers and was able to move freely. I'm a little sorry I let out such a big depressing speech to Amor. I don't normally pour out the contents of my mind like that, but it was really heartfelt. Amor's depressed. He's a delicate guy, so I know he's not feeling well right now. But at the same time, I knew it wouldn't convince him more. Even though I'd labeled the motive for grafting the head as my own needs, the fox would have picked up on the fact that it was mixed with a desire to help Chris. I think I'm a terrible person. I measure my friends cruelly and then help the ones who seem to need it the most, but I can't be bothered with Amore's feelings right now. I'm beginning to be able to understand what Professor Malachite was talking about when fate shoved the scales into my hands and forced me to choose, leaving me no other option but to choose between hurting two friends. And I took advantage of Amore's tolerance and gentleness. I gambled that his gentleness would accommodate my willfulness, and I chose to turn a blind eye to his wounds, which I still tore. But I couldn't let Chris be banished. I couldn't let him suffer the fate of being banished by both human and the demon. That would affect him for the rest of his life. I don't know what's going on, but I can't stand the idea that you're going to gamble with your health. There was a long silence before Amor opened his mouth bitterly, almost in tears. Whether it's being a tool or a sacrifice, I'm here to help you. I beg you. I'm silent. I'm not so slow that I can't pick up on Amor's moods. Amor, though always gentle and friendly in my presence, will inadvertently show his possessiveness of me in front of Chris if he's there. If I reacted to his possessiveness, he would show his displeasure in a somewhat childish way. Second, Neil. And his possessiveness became less and less hidden when he came to the outside world. On the other hand, Amor was forced to join a fraternity because of Chris, and I already feel that I have wronged Amor. If I ask Amor to partner with Chris in the hunt, it will make me feel even more indebted. Considering these 2 points, I really don't want to get him involved, but I have no other choice. Chris is in more trouble than I expected, and he's gonna have to come up with something outstanding for tomorrow's preliminary hunt, or he could get banished by the demons. Amor froze and closed his eyes in sorrow. I could feel his disappointment. He paused for a moment before opening his mouth. That makes no sense. This is the Outer Realm. Although he was upset that I was focusing all my attention on Chris, after all, he and Chris are still friends, and he can't accept that kind of thing. I'm hoping to convince Ostrom to delay the first hunt, but if that fails, I'd like you to partner up with Chris and help him get his grades. Amor raised one eyebrow. Just like that? In exchange, I froze. But aren't you very jealous of Chris? Hey, Chris is my friend too. If that's the reason you've been obsessing over Chris for the past 2 days, I wouldn't even frown if I had to team up with another 200 Chris's. As long as you stop staring at Chris with your heart on fire, teaming up with him won't be a problem at all. He sighed. Hess, why do you have to take on everything by yourself? He grabbed my wrist, which seemed so small in his palm. You can't afford it at all. But you can't even spare me the burden. Don't give me pleasantries. You still treat him like an outsider. I can't bring you into this. It's not your problem. I can't bring you into this. It's not your problem. Chris is my friend, too. And you're my friend, and your problems are my problems. I'm sure that assuming I'm ever in a crisis, you should also think it's your problem and worry about it alone instead of asking Chris for help, right? I'm speechless. He's right. Ugh. Your nature. Moore rubbed my helmet and helped me to stand up. Wait, go back to the fraternity first. We'll see what we can do. I nodded, but I'm still having trouble moving for a while. I focused on adjusting my breathing. I never knew pain could be so physically draining. I felt a cold sweat and a sense of being drained. Amor carefully rubbed my hands and feet to help me catch my breath. After about another half hour, I was able to move around. Then we unlocked Lucas's study and headed for the fraternity. Second, y'all. Water time. Alright, guys and gals, and we are back. Let's jump back into it, shall we? Okay. The fraternity was as lively as ever. I pushed my way in, and there was Bjorn at the counter. He saw us and stood up. Hess, listen to me. You guys are going to be on duty with Team 9. The head of Team 9 is also a rookie, which makes me uneasy, and I'll be taking tomorrow off to go to the field. You'll take a leave of absence from the professor later, and I'll give you an emergency refresher course in field knowledge. I nodded. Then I saw Darwin coming toward us in a rage. You, newcomer, with me, yes, both of you, right now. Amor and I froze. Are they talking about us? Darwin headed for the second floor without looking back, and we had to follow him. Darwin was simply furious, his mouth constantly grumbling. Shit! What is Ostrom up to? Darwin grabbed me as soon as he could. I looked over at him only to see worry written all over his face. Don't go. None of you have to go. I've been with Ostrom for a long time. I can vaguely guess what he's up to. And this is so out of the ordinary that if something happens it won't just affect you guys. It'll affect Ostrom, too. I can't talk Ostrom out of it, but you guys are different. Darwin knew. He knew that our preliminary hunt had been moved up 2 weeks and that we would be going in unprepared and poorly trained. Although Ostrom kept it from him, Darwin is after all the vice president, and sooner or later he would have seen the list of event participants in the paperwork. I know. I was just about to go talk to Ostrom. He won't listen to you. He never listens to anyone. He suddenly yelled at the top of his lungs and startled me. Bjorn, give me the keys to the safe. The bear sitting at the counter looked shocked. That's something the president can only authorize. Big deal. I'll pay for it. Keys, quick. Bjorn pulls the keys out of his drawer and throws them at Darwin, who, without looking back, reaches out and catches them. Oh, 1 second, y'all. Thank you, sweetie. Then the hyena tugged on my arm and headed for Ostrom's office on the 2nd floor, and Amora followed us with a puzzled look on his face. Then Darwin pulls open a secret compartment in the bookshelf, revealing a safe, and he motions for us to back away. The combination to the safe is classified. Then he used the key to unlock the 2nd lock and took out a sealed box and opened it. Inside were neatly arranged test tubes of potion. Then he froze and burst into a string of foul language. Fuck! No, it's an oral medication. He appeared to be at a loss for words and kept changing his stance. This philosophical alchemical potion can restore the flesh to what it was 10 minutes ago. And no matter how badly hurt you are, if you drink it within 10 minutes, you can reverse the injury, but fuck! Hess can't do anything with it. Amora looked at the test tube in awe. Reversal potion? It's a dragon-class potion. How could the Brotherhood have such a thing? Darwin glared at Amora, as if he were scolding him for making such a pointless remark at this time. Alright, y'all, I'm actually going to pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to have a quick shout-out to all of our lovely patrons. Thank y'all for everything you do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!